Let's crank this up.
Fourth and Lynn. And for this segment, we will talk about the preview of the college basketball season. I will take a break from football. I will not talk about football in this one. Well, I'll talk a little bit. Iowa State just shocked the football world by upsetting number 2 Oklahoma State, causing a huge shakeup in the BCS rankings. Iowa State wins in double overtime, 37-31, on a touchdown run. My goodness, Oklahoma State must be heartbroken after that tragic incident when their women's basketball head coach and assistant coach died in a plane crash. That was a very tragic incident, and my thoughts and prayers go out to the Oklahoma State families. But back to the Oklahoma State football. My God, Oklahoma State's BCS title hopes lost. It all started with the Iowa State defense, of course. This is a short preview of this, but Iowa State won. My goodness, I will talk about that game in a later recap. But Iowa State won. Now on to college basketball. Let's get it on for the college basketball season, as right now there looks like there will be no NBA due to the fact that the NBA is still very far apart on the labor agreement. Very far, by the way. And 2 more weeks of the season have been canceled through December 15th. But it's not looking very good, and looks like for Christmas we will not be watching NBA games. I hope there will be football for Christmas, although because it will be a very sad Christmas with no NBA games. Now, on to other news. Let's see here. Preview the college basketball season. Yep, without NBA, there's only college basketball left to watch. Now, here's college basketball season. Now, this time I will preview my top 3 teams, the teams that I think that are ranked too high and that will be disappointing. Like, they will not exceed their expectations, and the surprising teams that will surprise everybody. Let's start with the top 3 teams. Number 1, I think Kentucky will be very well this year. Kentucky returns Deron Lamb and Terrence Jones and Darius Miller, plus a very good recruiting class by Gilchrist, Anthony Davis, and they have another recruit. Well, just a very solid recruiting class with Terrence Jones, Deron Lamb, Gilchrist, Marquise Teague, there we go, and Anthony Davis. I think Kentucky's set for this year. I think they have all the tools and all the bench stuff they need to win the title. Now, number 2, I'm going to go with North Carolina. John Henson, Harrison Barnes, Tyler Zeller, and a very solid recruiting class, returning most of the team from last year, gives North Carolina a very good chance to win. And plus they're number 1 right now. Number 3 team. Let's see. Who will I have number 3? It's not going to be Ohio State. I was going to go with Duke, but yeah, I decided to change. Duke they have a pretty young and inexperienced team. But let's take a look. Who will be my number 3 team? It'll be a tough choice, but I'm going to go with, it's not Duke, it's who will my number 3 team be? Yeah, it'll be, I pick Ohio State. After thinking of it, I mean, Ohio State's number 3, but think about it. With Jared Sullinger, William Buford, Deshaun Thomas, Aaron Kraft, they are a very tough team. And Jared Sullinger, even if you stop him, they can't shoot the threes. But right now, my number 3 team currently is Ohio State. They're also I think, oh yeah, there we go, UConn, that was the name. UConn and Ohio State, I think, are about the same. I mean, both returned some great starters from last year. I mean, UConn, besides Kemba, all 4 starters returned from last year in a very good recruiting class, led by UConn. But Jeremy Lamb and the UConn will look. I think them and Ohio State are just about equal. But I have to think Ohio State gets a little bit of the edge just because of Sullinger. Because Sullinger is one of the top-rated big men in NCAA. But I just think Ohio State overall, I forgot to explain, has like the tools to win the championship this year. To be in my top 3 this year. Now, my top 3 disappointing teams. Number 1, Vanderbilt. Returned 5 stars from last year and all of a sudden get upsetted. Not a very good thing for a top 20 team. I mean, it can all change, but I think Vanderbilt will be disappointed because Vanderbilt always suffers a string of defeats. Other one, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh loses Brad Wanamaker and they lose a couple other guys, but returning only Ashton Gibbs and they have a good recruiting class, but they're pretty young, and I think number 9 is just way too high after that upset we saw by Long Beach State. And also at home. Another disappointing team that I think will be disappointing. Let's see here. Texas A&M. I'm going to say, I mean, Texas A&M has won some close games, but really they should have lost to St. John. St. John just needed to make their free throws. They would have won. Lost to Mississippi State. Also hurt Texas A&M. But I think Texas A&M is just struggling. Like, last year, they kind of collapsed last year at the end. And when it comes to the always tough Big 12, I don't think Texas A&M will do very well. So those are my 3 disappointing teams. Texas A&M, Vanderbilt, and Pittsburgh. No, my top three, now the surprising teams. Let's see here. The surprising teams I'll pick is I think St. John's will still be very good. I mean, they only return one player, but St. John has been really competitive all this time. I mean, sure they lose some games, but they've played very flat out competitive. And I think St. John has a chance to make a late run this year. Another competitive team? Hmm. Well, let's see here. I do not, oh, and also before I go with my second, I do not think Butler will repeat this year. Losing Shelvin Mack, losing Gordon Hayward is fine because they had Shelvin Mack and Matt Howard, but losing like both of them, Howard and Mack and Sean Van Zandt, and it's not gonna cut it. I don't think Butler will repeat this year. My second surprising team, hmm, let's see here. Who will we see? Oh, Long Beach State is one of the good teams. I mean, to beat Pittsburgh at home, my God, that is surprising. I think Long Beach State will do very well because they don't play in such a competitive division to make the run for the NCAA tournament. Another good team, I'd always say this is a team you should always look out for from the. They haven't been very great. They haven't been very bad, but this is my third surprising team. This is my third. Oh wait, oops. This is my third surprising team. I mean, most people might disagree with this, but Mississippi State will be my third surprising team. There we go. Mississippi State with Dave Boss. I mean, first of all, they start out with one win. They start out losing flat to a low conference opponent, but wait, they come back. They beat Texas A&M, and now they just beat Arizona. I think improves Mississippi State's confidence. I think Mississippi State will do very well this year. Well, that concludes it for my segment, and can't wait for the college basketball season to start. Stay tuned for more. Well, I'm Jesse Lynn of Fourth and Lynn. See you next time on Fourth and Lynn.